Good morning. Now, okay, sorry. I'm driving the Mazda 6 wagon, the top of the range, 2.5 liter high spec, and literally nobody buys them. I mean, there are a few, but now with prices at 230 over 1,000, it is, put it this way, it is a mere 60,000 short of a V60 T8 wagon with like what, 450, 460 horsepower. Plug-in. Oh my god, the skyline is just absolutely stunning. What a beautiful morning. If you're new to my channel, I'm from Malaysia, and we love driving here. We have great roads. Anyway, back to the Mazda 6. This car is old. Very, very old, in fact. If I'm not wrong, this car has been on the market for 12 years. This platform, this engine, largely the same. But of course, over the course of 12 years, Mazda has given this car 2 brand new interiors. I mean, complete change. Alright? Complete change of an interior. Updated some stuffs. The front end has been facelifted twice. And if you count the full black of this car, probably that's the 3rd time. And this one has added adaptive cruise control, traffic jam assist, all these stuffs to the car. And then a wireless charger to update the car. And the rest largely remained the same since 2015, where this interior debuted. Now, when this car came out, it is more than competitive. It is a better car than the Honda Accord or the Toyota Camry of its generation. Ever since, there has been 2 Camrys and 3 Accords after this car was launched. Now you know how long in the tooth this car has been. I mean, me as someone who understands the industry, always gives Mazda, how do I put that? Put it this way. Mazda is a much smaller car maker than Toyota or Honda. It is a much smaller car maker than both companies. That means they sell a lesser volume, and it takes a much longer time for them to amortize. Sorry, some friends having some issues with their car. Yeah. So I understand that. And ever since Mazda developed this platform, the Skyactiv engine, they spent a whole lot of money on it. They haven't stopped spending money ever since. When the whole world is downsizing their engine to 2-liter turbos, to focus on hybridized powertrain or electric powertrain and all that, Mazda decided to dump a lot of money on creating a rear-wheel drive SUV with a 3-liter straight-six engine. Yeah, that's how they spend money. I'll continue the video later. When I drive, okay? Okay, enough of the history part. Let's talk back about this car. If you buy this car or if you are considering this car, as in you're comparing the Camry, the Accord, do they still sell the Accord? And this one, or okay, they stopped selling the Passat, right? You will find that, wow, this car is unappealing, right? It's unappealing because this infotainment screen largely remained the same since 2012. One thing, I always defend this screen when I hear people saying that it's difficult to use. It's not difficult to use. How difficult it is to give you a knob for you to turn, and the selection gets highlighted, and then you press. That's largely, look at it, it's slow. That's largely how it works, right? It's not difficult to use at all. What it is, though, is that even though it's an infotainment system, there is very little information and very little entertainment, to be honest. I don't even know where to begin. It's actually not that entertaining, not that informative. Alright, you don't get much out of it. Alright, it's just a screen that is here, allows you to listen to your radio, change your tuner, and hook up your Bluetooth, even though it's a little bit fiddly. I took like half an hour trying to detect each one another, and then eventually I succeeded. And then after that, even though this car comes with Bose sound system, you see the Bose logo there, I have to say this is not what people expect from Bose. Alright, it is actually a rather lower end sort of speaker. You get the thump from the bass a little bit. Other than that, there is very little separation in terms of there's very little fidelity with the sound. Everything just gets mashed up together as one go. Alright, so that's largely how it sounds like. It's the kind of sound system whereby you don't have to have a high volume to feel that it is affecting you from speaking to one another in the car, right? The moment you want to listen to the song or more background music, instruments and all that, right? It has become, you just want to lower the volume. So that is that kind of sound system. And the wireless charger, I tested it, okay? Just my phone running Google Maps on the wireless charger, it is not able to maintain the charge. It is gradually losing, which means it's a low powered wireless charger. And I mean, that's very common. Most wireless chargers are rubbish, you know, they heat up your phone, they don't charge fast enough. All you get at the end of the day is a phone that is hot, that is not maintaining its charge, albeit slowing it down. There are USB ports in the center armrest. Again, it is just the normal average speed. It is not high powered that it will be significant enough to charge up your phone. But at least it doesn't heat it up. Okay, that's all you see. And then there's no LCD speedometer here. There is, however, a very nice head-up display, pretty good, pretty high def, and then you'll be hard pressed to convince yourself to buy this car at 230,000. Yes, it is, and it doesn't have a turbocharged engine. It's a 2.5 liter, 900 ringgit road tax engine, and being 2.5 is not a 6-port, it is a 4-port. So you have all this going against you. And if you are not a keen driver, you are just buying it for your daily use, yes, it's enough, you know, it's fuel efficient, it is comfortable enough. Okay, it's not as comfortable as the Camry, it is not as comfortable as the Accord, it is not as spacious as either both, albeit slightly smaller. I mean, it's enough as a D segment, but it is obvious that it is not as spacious as those, right? And when you're going through expansion joints, you will feel the jolt more than either the Camry or the Accord, okay? So that's what you will experience if you are solely coming from a perspective of a buyer who wants a family car that is spacious and comfortable for your kids, for your wife, for you to go to work, for you to do the groceries and all that. Alright? It is, however, a wagon. I mean, there's the sedan variant, right? But the boot isn't as big as the one in the Camry. So you have all this going against the Mazda, given that it's a 10-year-old car, okay? But there are redeeming qualities, and the qualities would be in the driving part. If you're a keen driver, but you don't have extra budget to buy a sports car, to buy another car, because you have your day-to-day work, you have your family to take care of, you have the studies to take care of, you just want a car that is 70% or 80% serving your family needs, and then that 30% of the time you want to enjoy your drive just a little bit more than the usual ones. Now, I have to say this first, new generation Toyota Camrys, they all drive very, very well. They all have a fantastic chassis, they all handle, and you just smile behind the wheel. But they are not set up like a Mazda in terms of driving position, in terms of the size of the steering wheel, in terms of the feel of the throttle pedal, in terms of overall the feel of the car. It's just not the same. Even the transmission mapping is not the same, okay? Mazda is tuned and set up for a keen driver, especially on the twisties. I call it a front-wheel drive BMW, to be honest. Yes, the brakes aren't as strong as proper driver's car, but that's a remedy that can be remedied. Okay. Other than that, there are very few qualities in this car that will attract you as a buyer. But if you cool yourself down, if you're someone who knows what you want, you run your hands across the car, you will feel that the build quality is fantastic, the materials that they use are fantastic, the ergonomics are fantastic, the sitting position, the driving position, the seats are fantastic. So all these features are there for you to enjoy your drive. Even though it is a big D-segment car, it is a wagon that has a lot of weight at the back there. Then when you do minute steering inputs, you will feel the rear is not working together with the front. The rear axle almost reacts 1/3 of a second slower than the front axle, right? Of course, the sedan will handle way better. But of course, this is a beautiful car. If you stand outside, you just look at the car, it is absolutely gorgeous. It is easily the most beautiful car in its class, against its competition, against the Accord. The Accord is ugly. Against the Camry. The Camry is not bad looking, but it's not as sporty setup, Yeah. So those are the things that you will see, but I smile behind the wheel. The way it drives, the way the engine and the transmission mapping just sort of understands what you're doing. I love it. The tires are not the most grippiest, the Bridgestone Turanzas, but they lose grip gradually in the dry, right? There is a lot of information before you lose it completely. There is a gradual lose of traction. Okay? In the wet, I was so surprised. Yesterday, there was a heavy downpour, and I was surprised by these tires in the wet. It disperses a huge amount of water before you even get affected by what would be, what do you call that? The puddling. I forgot that word. There is a word for it, right? Anyway, yeah, I'm surprised. Not the sportiest tires, but in the wet they prove themselves okay. Not bad. Alright, which lane should I cross? This one, yeah. Okay, I'll continue the video later when I'm at the twisties, but overall, high-speed driving, high-speed cruising, big sweeping bends and all that, right? This car is fantastic. Same goes with the Camry, and to be honest, the Japanese cars have more than redeemed themselves. Alright, even the Accord. are no longer like the, you know, sounds so good. You know, the old days where Japanese cars just were wobbly and all that on highways, none of them do that now. You know, they all are pretty well sorted out. Can I momentarily venture into the rightmost lane? Yeah. It's a lovely car. Lovely, lovely to drive. But as a buying proposition, there are so many things that goes against it. But if you look at the detail, look at the kind of leather that they use on the seats, the stitching quality is way higher than that of, be it the Toyota or Honda and all that. I mean, the finishing is fantastic on the leather seats. Even the armrest at the back, the armrest of this Mazda 6 at the back costs more to produce than that in the Bentley Bentayga, right? It is a proper armrest with a lid with 2 USB ports inside, with carpeted interior compartment. Even the Porsche Cayenne or the Bentley Bentayga just gives you a squeegee cushion with 2 holes in the middle. Okay, so okay, this drive, even though it's scenic, I'm not gonna extract much information out of it. Just to tell you, basically, I'm just gonna reach the twisty parts and continue the video. Okay. See the GT3? Oh, so nice. Beautiful car. 2 GT3s in fact. Lovely. All right, let's enjoy a little bit of a drive and see how this car does. Come on, Innova, just cross the entire lane. Oh well. These things happen. Alright. Thank you so much. Now I have to be mindful, there's a lot of weight at the back there. And then tires aren't the grippiest and brakes aren't the strongest. It's also not the most powerful engine. It's a bit of a climb, but this is one of those drives where I get to stand on the throttle, and the way the car body rolls, right, it gives you a lot of leeway to anticipate what's gonna happen. Even though they have massively improved the soundproofing of this car against when it first came out. Okay, but the earlier ones, where you get to hear a lot more, is in a way slightly more communicative. The body roll also helps my butt in judging the car, in judging how much I can still sort of push. Okay. Oh, P number plate. I hope he let me pass. Thank you. Mazda. Always in the right transmission. Always. Always. Beautiful. Now in terms of outright handling, this is not in the league of the Mazda 3. especially on roads like this. A lot more weight, and a lot more weight to manage in a way. But the Mazda 3 doesn't have the 2.5 NA engine as well, at least in Malaysia. Oh, so much weight to lug around. Standing on the throttle. Oh, accident happened. Youngsters, don't drive above your limit, please. Beautiful flowing character of the car. It just flows. Of course, I have to watch out the brakes. Don't want to overheat them. But I'm not using heavy braking either. Mostly just trail braking. And of course, on windy bits like this, to manage the weight transfer when braking is involved. That's the GT3 just now. Beautiful car. He's a nice guy. Beautiful. Ah, good boy. Make the U-turn, look behind you. Thank you, sir. Lovely. Careful, motor. Thank you. It's the way the body behaves, and of course this car has a lot of things that you can do to improve the handling. First thing, suspension, right? And the brakes are the feel of the brakes are fantastic. It's just that the power of it is rather pedestrian in terms of what the chassis can do. So put it this way, Mazda designed a fantastic chassis, okay, but because they need to sell it to compete with normal cars, everything else that is fitted to the chassis is rather normal. But the fundamentals of the car is a driver's car. It is a front-wheel drive BMW. Put it that way. Just wonderful. And to be honest, the 2.5 doesn't sound that bad. There's a little bit of grunt to it compared to the 2-liter. I mean, I'm bringing it to places that are sort of above its elements. on what it is set up to be. But a lot of owners out there will start improving the car, right? They will swap out the suspension. I mean, I'm okay with body roll. I just want it to sort of react and sit quicker, settle it quicker, transition quicker, instead of taking its time. But then, this is a family car. We shouldn't forget that it is a family car. It is a car for families and for the father at times to enjoy his drives. That's it. So, yeah. I'm enjoying my drive. A car with a great chassis allows you to stand on its throttle on roads like these. Or and then, oh my god, I didn't know my camera is pointing downwards. I'm sorry guys. Sorry for looking at the seats while I'm trying to describe to you what's happening outside. Oh, I hope that part doesn't ruin it. Look at it. No understeer. Beautiful. Beautiful. There's weight to manage, but the underlying chassis doesn't understeer. And it's very fluid. Very, very fluid. Wonderful car. Beautiful. Is this a front wheel drive or a rear wheel drive car? Oh. Look at that. Oh, I can pull it tighter into the vents. Just amazing. One tap of the brakes and in we go, full throttle. I was a little bit late there on the throttle part. This is where you get not a lot of traction for a front wheel drive car, suddenly going up the hills. Look at that. Weight transfer, no power, no power. No choice. Beautiful. Oh, how the weight shifts and then sits. Look at that, the precision of the steering. You know what the front wheels are doing? That is where this car redeems itself. All these things no longer matters when you're trying to enjoy your drive, right? And it's brilliant. Oh, I have to keep on reminding myself this is a front wheel drive family car. Beautiful. Beautiful to drive. Oh, Mazdas. Absolutely brilliant. I switch off my proximity sensor.
You need to drop the longest vehicle you can think of, right?
So what's my verdict? My verdict is this car, the price, the package, everything, right, doesn't fall into what most people are looking for or want, right? Most people who want just a Japanese reliable big sedan, fuel efficient, comfortable, very low maintenance and all that. Even though this one belongs there, most people will go for, I know, a Camry or whatnot, all right, or an SUV. There are so many SUVs from Mazda. They are more of a value proposition. However, I have to give Mazda a big thumbs up. A big thumbs up for bringing the wagon. Thank you so much, because there are actually wagon lovers out there. And this car and the Volvo V60 are the only two wagons that you can buy in Malaysia. The only two. Okay? So, wagons is already a very, very limited crowd. Okay? So, probably two models is more than enough. Alright? Most people will go for the sedan. And the V60, of course, is beautiful. It's about, what, 300,000? And it's also a very good value proposition because it's literally tax-free. If it is taxed the same way as this car was taxed, that car should be around 500,000 because it's a T8 plug-in hybrid, supposedly at the same price point or even higher than an M340i. That's where it is. It's a 460 horsepower car at the end of the day. Right? It's mighty fast, handles really well as well, but it's of a different proposition than this because it's a big 2-ton car, plug-in hybrid, very sophisticated, very high-tech, modern, electrified powertrain car. This one is a simple 2.5 litre naturally aspirated Japanese car that has exceptional handling for its segment, but not exceptional for its price point, because at 230,000 there are a lot of cars around that area that drives really well. They don't just drive well, they have a very modern powertrain. Alright, so it's not easy for this car to sell, not easy at all. However, if you know your cars, if you know what you are looking for, if you want a car that you can drive for the longest of time, okay, serves your family, you can go camping, you can bring your bicycle along, you just want to enjoy a nicer handling car while it's able to do the pedestrian stuff, the daily stuff, being fuel efficient, being low maintenance, just that, then this one would suddenly almost fall into position, even though it needs some persuasion for 230,000, because there are a lot of reconditioned cars out there in the market. There are a lot of pre-owned cars in the market. You can easily get a Volvo V60, probably a Volvo Select or something, and there's much better interior, much modern infotainment system, much more high-tech car and all that. But this one is just what it is. It is a nice driving, nice handling, well-tuned drivetrain pairing in terms of the engine and transmission. Very good-looking car, comfortable interior, the kind of Japanese reliability that you can come to expect. And then a big boot at the back there, a big hatch. It's not powered as well. So a lot of people are like, I'm paying 230,000, I don't get a powered boot. You know, so yeah, definitely not a value buy per se, but it has its merits, and it also has a lot of its shortfalls. And the biggest problem is the merits of this car require some people like me who do car reviews for a living, who can cross-compare many cars on different scenarios, different ways car behave, to find the merits of this car. If you're a normal driver, normal consumer, you will not be able to find all these qualities of this car. The places or the scenarios where this car shines through, it's very difficult for it to come through for a normal consumer, normal car owner. But the shortfalls of this car, the stuff that makes this car not so appealing, is so evident. Okay? The screen, the lack of power compared to price. Okay? And without power boot, you know, all these things would just make people come in here, sit here, and then start the car, go out for a drive, and they found nothing special, and then nothing excites them, and then they go off. Because most people, when they test drive cars, they go in, they start the car, the salesman will tell them, look for a straight road, okay, floor the pedal. This one, you floor the pedal, you hear noise, and a slow, gradual pickup of speed, right? And they don't feel any surprise there. And then, sound system, even though it says Bose, for people who knows their stuff, when they listen, it's nothing special. It is pretty flat at best. Loud, has some bass, and that's about it. Yeah. It doesn't have a panoramic roof, doesn't have a powered boot. Yeah. So, hope you understand more about this car after this video. But let me tell you one thing. This ranks amongst one of those cars that I will always enjoy the drive up roads like this, because of the way this car was set up. This car was the engineering team behind this car. Yeah. But the realities of the market dictates that this car cannot come with big brake kits. This car cannot come with high performance tires. You know? So that is the market limitation in terms of pricing, in terms of positioning. There's a lot of stuff that the car maker cannot equip this car with. Yeah. I just love the way the gearbox works with this engine. You never find yourself in need of using the pedals at all. It is just so smart. In fact, people who knows the merits of CVT engine up a hill like this, which means always in its power band, this car is so smart that it almost delivers performance like that. You're like, why doesn't it hunt for gear? Never. You know, it's always in the right gear, doing the right thing all the time. And then the control body roll. Yes, there is body roll. There is considerable amount of body roll. But this one is also engineered by Mazda engineers to be communicative to someone who enjoys their drive, to be able to tell you how much grip you still have, you know, where does it end, where does the sitting end, the weight transfer ends, because the moment the weight transfer ends is where you can begin to really power it. So there's a lot of stuff that this car has that only people like us who really enjoy driving, who have driven a lot of cars within this segment, are able to tell. Normal ones will be harder. Right? Sorry for my voice, it's getting a bit... Excuse me, sir? I know you have a fast car, but you don't have a big car. Don't take up 2 lanes. What are you doing? What are you doing? Thank you so much. What are you doing, motorcycle? Thank you so much for being decisive. This car flies. Not with power, but with poise, with fluidity. The way it flows around corners, the way it manages its body, the way it just beautifully glides on the motorcycle. Let him know I'm coming in hot. The way that you can trail brake and then just accelerate. Look at that. Even the tires, these are not high performance tires, but these tires are predictable, and that's most important for a fun drive. You can see from my steering actions, I'm not driving aggressively. I'm allowing the car, or the car is allowing me to flow with it, to just flow with the car. Beautiful handling. It's not the point and shoot type like a Volkswagen or Audi. You know, the front wheel drive versions of Volkswagen, Audi, Golf GTI and all that. This is not a point and shoot car. This is a car where you dance around the corners. Even the CX-5 dance around corners. Bro, this is my favorite section. It's my favorite section, bro. Bro, 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 bro. Thank you. The way the car changes, the way the car does the weight transfer is beautiful. Beautiful. What a brilliant, brilliant chassis. Imagine you buy this car, you give it some better brakes, change the brake lines, the brake fluids, better tires. But somehow I enjoy these tires. I mean, if it's too grippy, there's less fun in exploring. Just think about it this way. If you want an SUV, but then you are a keen driver, there's no way any good SUVs from Mazda can corner the way this car does. Because at the end of the day, this is still a sedan. And this car will put a much bigger smile on one's face. See that 911 there? If he's unfamiliar with these roads, I can easily catch up with him in this car. Not on the braking part. Yeah. Lovely. Alright, hope you understand. That's where the Mazda 6 wagon is. If you bought one, you are either a very informed driver or an uninformed average consumer. See, the brakes are not strong enough. Cheers. And after all that exciting driving, you're back to reality, ready for Monday, for your work, and this car serves its purpose. Music, leather seats, aircon, comfort, boot space, KLIA fetching people. It does everything. And you remember in your mind that during Sunday, you had a great time on the mountain roads. So that is the proposition of this car. Quiet and comfortable now. Cheers. So, the exterior is largely unchanged after the second facelift. For those unfamiliar, when the Mazda 6 first came out in 2012 or 13, the headlights are totally different. Okay, and then they updated the car, they give it a new grille, and then they have
See, the first one, right, has the thin little chrome piece that sort of continues into the headlight. That was the trend back then. And then when they first facelift it, they have the chrome part going above the headlights, and that was really good looking. The headlight was underneath. And then they did the second round. This is a lot larger, but it goes underneath, so you have a new headlamp housing. Okay, and then they have updated the grille. They have a sort of like a 2D Mazda logo with the adaptive cruise control radars all inside. They clean up the bumpers. It's still a very good looking car, definitely better looking than the Camry or the Accord. Alright, I think it's even more handsome than the Passat. It's a very good looking car. This one, they have a blacked out feature. Everything is blacked out. This is sort of like dark chrome or a black paint, I don't know, but it looks good. But I prefer the chrome one. And these bits are in black as well, and then the side mirrors in black as well. To me, that's a bit tacky. I prefer it to be body color. The wheels are in black as well, and then all these, however, are not blacked out. These remain chrome for some reasons. They remain chrome, but the roof rails are blacked. What else is blacked out? This one remains, yeah, this is anodized, right? Blacked out as well. So this is like think of it as a black package, if you may. Right, it's a good looking car, very good looking car. As a wagon, it doesn't have the largest boot, right? But I love how Mazda designed the mechanisms. Now, first thing, they have a aluminum sill over here, which is really nice. Nobody really likes these, but then they protect this one, right? And these are thick soundproofing materials, very nice. You get some hooks here, 3 kilos. You can pull this to drop the seats, right? Very nice, very spacious here and here as well. And then I love this mechanism. This mechanism is just brilliant. All right, they have the tonneau cover that sort of hooks up here, so when you close the boot, Mazda is the only one that does this. I mean, if you know any other car makers that does this, let me know. But so far, Mazda is the only one that does it, whereby the tonneau cover doesn't hook here, which is lazy at best, right? It hooks up here, so when you open the boot, the whole thing glides out, and then when you close it, it goes back in, so you don't need another action. That's the first thing. Second thing, your luggage will always be out of sight, and I like it a lot. And they even have another one which is inside, and that one is I just find it perplexing that they have 2 tonneau covers, one to block the luggage from falling through. Most of the time these are optional stuff, but Mazda give it to you. Very good. The engine revs really healthy. The handling is fantastic. The brakes are average per se. I mean, if you drive it normally on streets, you won't find the brakes not enough, but yeah, it's adequate. I would say it's just adequate, but it's a good looking wagon. It's a really good looking wagon. Right. Let's start the car. This one is a pain for some. It's still the button type, which screams budget. Okay. Once you're inside here, you will notice that all these are soft touch material. These are hard plastics, but the texture matches really well. Soft leather clad, you know. And this is interesting. See, this is really soft. This is really soft, but it's not throughout. Halfway through here, at halfway through this point, okay, there's a hard plastic inside. Of course, you need the structural rigidity as well, okay, to hold it in place. But this is hard. It's a hard plastic with one layer of this material layer over it, and then this is gloss black at the back. full length door bin, not full till here because the speakers are here, the Bose speakers are here, right? So comfortable enough. I wish it's a little bit fatter, just a little bit, half an inch, to prevent my arms from dropping. XC90 also has this problem. XC90 is somewhat ended somewhere and then your arms tend to drop. Okay, but overall it's a fantastic cabin. Build quality is fantastic. These are soft touch injection mold polyurethane, very nice material. Leather clad dash. Of course I wish it's of a different color. If this is of the seats color, it will be brilliant. If this is red color, this is red, it will look fantastic. Okay, the fit and finish is top notch. Mazda has been known for doing that. This one is a one. If it's plastic coated, then it's coated really well. Even Lexus is not coated that well, right? Because it totally looks like one strip of aluminium piece, which beggars belief. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to actually believe that Mazda uses a real aluminium strip here. It may be plastic, but it's coated really well. Lexus one still feels like painted. Okay. Here as well, the aircon vents, they look really stylish, very good looking. Even this one, right? The inlays, they all look wonderful. The fit and finish of this car is just top notch, top notch. This is almost Lexus level without the perceived weight. Somewhat close there, but even here, wow, I am surprised. I am genuinely surprised. Most cars, sorry for that, it's my parking pass. Most cars, even premium cars, would leave this part exposed, where when you put your fingers here, you will feel the molding lines. Mazda actually spent money to create a piece, a smooth touching piece that is screwed here to prevent you from touching that molding line. Wow! Then there's a rubberized mat below. Wow! I'm surprised. See, that's why Mazda, proper stuff, proper fit and finish. Quality visors. These are quality visors. Very nice. Doesn't feel cheap at all. Covered in felt. Look at that. It's covered in felt. Premium cars do that. Some premium cars don't even do that. Right, that's the hallmark of a premium car. And I have to say, the leather seats, I can't say enough good words about the leather seat. It is so well finished. Fantastic leather, fantastic stitching, styling, bolstering. It's just brilliant. The seats are brilliant. All right, and these are, look at the stitching in the Camry, horrible. Okay, or any Nissan for that matter. This is just brilliant. All right, really good finishing. Now this part, I love it. This entire center console, this entire thing is hyper plush. Very soft, very plush. So when I'm driving, my knees are extremely comfortable. You know, we have our kneecap over here, right? Some cars put plastics and all that, but this is just really plush and comfortable. Every surface you touch, every molding of is plastic. There are no sharp edges. There are no sharp edges. The only sharp edge I find is between this cover, this piece of metal plated plastic against the back, and there is a, you can hear it. Yeah, but it's not as sharp as those in some German premium cars. It's very well finished. Very well finished. Okay, the fit and finish of this car is top notch. The whole aircon panel, when you're touching the buttons, they are silent, but it's a very positive press. These ones as well, proper. All this feels really good. And then you come to this, which is fantastic controller, fantastic feel of pressing this, but after this, whatever is inside that is being displayed doesn't match up to all this. You know, this is old already, and they didn't even update the Mazda 3 one, which is better graphics and all that. But I know because of this car is old. Okay, and then you can adjust the seat belts, you know, level, you can adjust it. Steering wheel is brilliant. Okay, it's a brilliant steering wheel. It's not the very plush type, and it's not the very fat type, but it's just thin enough, you know, for anyone to hold it and have a great feeling and of control of the front wheels. Is super direct, and it's not a large steering wheel. For the size of the cabin, this steering wheel is considered small, but the opening here, okay, the whole opening against whatever that is displayed is not hindered at all. Nothing is being blocked out by the steering wheel. The seating position of this car is perfect. Okay, look at my legs, my knees, and then my feet. It's perfect. See, it's level. Look at that, it's level. It's perfect. Even if it's manual, you can. No. And it's the organ type pedal, and then here will be the footrest. The seating position is top notch. Okay, you have the controls over here, switching off the iStop, your parking sensors, camera, lane keep assist, traction control off. Everybody's asking me why is the traction control off. It's actually the lane keep assist sort of is in the same color. Right, the graphics are alright, not very high refresh rates over here, not very high refresh rates as well. Even the graphic processing of this is a bit slow, but everything is very clear cut. This is so out of place, this little thing here to adjust the luminosity, is it? What does it do? Nothing reacts to it. I don't know, probably the hard press and reset it. Anyway, the cup holders are deep, so even if you're not putting drinks, you can put some other stuffs, and then it's pretty deep. You can put your wallets and all that. I kind of like it. The finishing of the plastics are high quality as well, top-notch stuff, no sharp edges at all, very good finishing. Yep, wireless charger over here, very slow wireless charger. Even the USB power is very slow, it charges slowly. There's a chrome strip here that does nothing except to garnish it up. I like the fact that this part and this part is raised up so that this whole thing can be a compartment. You can chuck a lot of things here if you want to. Okay, here you have USB ports, you have your SD card slot, auxiliary, and 12-volt socket. Very well equipped. This is small, but it's covered in felt, nicely covered in felt, and it's sized nicely, so you can put your CDs if you still listen to CD. If there is a CD player, there aren't any. no more such things. You see, there's cable runners over here, so this is pretty nice. And this is, the hinges are metal, so they won't break. Right, very considerate of Mazda, and it's just a comfortable place. This looks rubberized, but it's not. But the ridges do provide some form of grip as well when you put stuff. Alright, so it's a beautiful cabin, very beautiful cabin, and you get a sunroof, albeit a small one, a really tiny one. Okay, let's go to the back seats. This is my seating position. I am 5'11". These are the rear seats. As you can see, time has gone by, and somehow every car sort of shrunks when time goes. I remember it to be way larger than it is. Okay, now the base of the seat back cannot fit. Okay, in between the base of the seat and the rails of the seat, it's not long enough or wide enough for me to put my feet. But if you are size 9, you'll be able to. But then they push the rails far out, so you have a little bit of room below. I sit very low. Okay, oh, I can't praise the seats enough. Look at the piping. That looks like piping. Looks so good. The finishing of the seats is fantastic. They even bother to color this to match the seat. Look at that. That's attention to detail. Okay, aircon vents here, no aircon vents on the B pillar. The thickness of the B pillar sort of will reveal to you the segment of the car. So this part is the part that they forgot to garnish up. They garnish up everything. This one reveals its roots as a basic Japanese car. The rubber seals overlap this instead of sitting inside. Okay, but this one is properly furnished up. Same level of quality material as the front. Right, and this one retracts solely, so you can see my headroom. I have about 3 fingers of headroom. Alright, that's also because this part goes up. Okay, pretty upright. I'm sitting pretty upright. There are a lot of cars that allows a more slanted sitting. It will be more comfortable. So this one is not. So obviously from the rear is a lot tighter than a Camry or an Accord. Okay, actually it's even tighter than the Civic. If you think about it, it's even tighter than the Civic. So this car, through the years that they have sustained, this is now interior room wise comparable to a Civic. Okay, but finishing wise, top notch. Okay, this one as well reveals its roots as the B pillar, and then this part is, they spend money on this instead of this. Okay, but it's not cheap either. It's not cheap. Now this one has to be the most expensive armrest in the industry. Okay, remember Cayenne, Bentayga, it's just a cushion with 2 holes, even Aston Martin DBX. Alright, but then look at a Mazda. Here you can put your phone, you can put your drinks, open this up, covered in carpet, not felt, carpet, and then you get 2 USB ports here with cable runners. Out of this, the cables can run through here. Look at that! Just take a look at that. Alright, proper leather as well. Beautiful. Isofix. Okay, so the rear compartment, the rear rows, the second row is enough, is adequate, but it's not in the way whereby you can lounge in comfort. It's more like, you know, your kids or your teenage kids or your colleagues and all that, they can sit comfortably here, you know, but on a long distance journey, they have to come down, you know, stretch a bit, because there's not a lot of room between the floor and the seat base for you to slot your feet underneath. There's not a lot of space to wiggle around. You sort of sit upright, pretty upright, because that's how the seat back is, and then your head is pretty near to the roof. When your head is near to the roof, your vantage point has a lot of ceiling in it. You know, if you sort of slouch lower, right, the ceiling is higher, then you can see outside. But you can never sit like that here because of the angle of the seat back. It's not slanted enough. So you have to sit pretty upright to fit perfectly. And then the windows are not exceptionally tall. So it's a very sporty, slender, sleek, sporty sedan. Or wagon for that matter. Alright? So that's the walk around of the Mazda 6. Do I like the car? A lot. Is it a good buy? Not exactly a good buy in this time and age. But if you buy, will you be happy behind the wheel? Very, very happy behind the wheel, except that infotainment that is not very informative and not very entertaining at the same time in this time and age. It's okay for 2012, not okay for 2024. Alright? But it's still a fantastic drive, very well furnished, very well upholstered, and provides a kind of driving dynamics, a kind of fluidity that you don't get in this segment, but you will get in this price point. Get what I mean? There are plenty of options out there. Yeah, a pre-rack 330i will beat this car in every single aspect, even in space as well, and handling and everything. So that's the dilemma of this car. So yeah, cheers.